And welcome to the first coaching clinic of 2022. I took the whole month of January and December off, and I've been home to Ireland, and I've had time with family, and I've had time to really just reflect on what's essential going forward, and also to just let go of what's not. So that's really what we're looking at a little bit more of here today, how we can move into what we truly are motivated by, rather than what we're putting up with and falling into overwhelm with. Now, today is a special day in the Celtic calendar, and anyway, a special day all around the world, being February 1st. This is the season of what in the Celtic calendar we call Imbolc, which literally means full in the belly. The seeds of spring are among us. And even though it might not look like spring out there, I can promise you that today does mark a turning in the ground, and perhaps also in ourselves. That's what I want today's visualization and meditation to help us with, to find this turning in ourselves. We have to be so patient. We have to be so patient with the journey we're on and the place we're in. I find more and more that as we are hard on ourselves about the feeling we're living in, or the lack of progress we look like we're making, I find that just adds extra layers of suffering. And those extra layers of suffering keep us stuck, keep us paralyzed, keep us where we are. So as much as possible, I invite you in this visualization today to let yourself off the hook. That's been one of the things that has been really poignant in my journey, especially in the last year, having lost my fiance Francesco to a sudden heart attack. I've had to learn to let myself off the hook when it came to trying to do life like I used to do it, and somehow get on with things like I used to. I've had to find a level of patience within myself. And sometimes that has meant stepping away from what I used to do. As many of you will have noticed, I took a break there from the coaching clinic. I've taken a break from a lot of the coaching I was doing, even though I kept going for many, many months after the death of Francesco. There came a point where stepping away was what was needed. And so in that stepping away, it's come to me more clearly, this level of patience we all want to have with ourselves on our journey. And if you're sitting there now and you're thinking, well, I can't be patient because, at least you have an excuse, Grace, you lost your fiance, I don't have an excuse, then you want to really hear today's message, because it's not about having an excuse to be patient with yourself. It's really about allowing yourself the space to let yourself off the hook. And letting ourselves off the hook, we spring forth, we spring forward. And isn't that what this day is all about? This is a day in which there's a turning. This is a day and a moment in which there is an Imbolc, a pregnancy alive within us. Even if we can't see it or feel it yet, there's something stirring in your soul, in your belly, that will come forth. Your job is to be patient. Your job is to let yourself off the hook. No extra layer of suffering is going to speed up the process. So as we go into our vision today, we'll do that to begin. Just allow yourself to hear what you need to hear, or witness what you need to witness. And if you want to write it down at the end, do so. After that, we'll go into more of the coaching aspect. If you have questions, if there are things coming up for you, I'll be very open to helping you and sharing with you. And then we'll close the session just with whatever it is that begins to come to light that's needed. As always, I never quite know what I'm going to do with you on any of these clinics. So you're really bearing witness to in the moment experiences. Nothing is perfect here, but it always tends to work out. So join with me now as you close your eyes. Just turn off any distractions. If you're getting pings on Facebook, before you close your eyes, turn those off. If you're getting any sort of interference from anywhere, just right now, drop the overcommitment to whatever or whoever else is out there. And in closing your eyes, just place your feet on the floor. And feel yourself, whether you're lying down or you're sitting, just feel your body falling into that space. Take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Feel yourself just falling into this gentler space. Place your hands on your belly and without judgment, just let the belly rise up as far as possible on the in-breath, and on the out-breath, this time through the nose, slowly, 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 feeling the belly fall. In through the nose and rise the belly up into the hands, rising right up, and out through the nose, slowly, slowly falling back, letting the belly fall back. Do that a couple more times for yourself. Letting yourself feel the essence of the breath. Now I want you to imagine roots coming from your feet down through the ground, through the underground, right down to a rock at the bottom of the earth, and wrap those roots around that rock. This rock emanates light, divine light. And this divine light is traveling now from the rock up through the roots, up through the underground, the ground, up through the floorboards, into your feet. And it's traveling right the way up the body now. So through the feet, the ankles, the shins, the calves, the kneecaps, all the way up through the thighs, all the way up into the torso, around the hips, all the way through your body, on up into the chest, right up to the shoulders, down through the arms, the hands, the fingers, back up through the hands, the arms, the shoulders, through the neck, up through the face, the back of the head, and out through the hair. You're completely surrounded in this golden light, the light of your true nature. Whilst your worries may come and go, whilst the overwhelm may come and go, this light stays constant. And as you're experiencing that light now, we're going to go on a gentle journey with the mind's eye onto a golden path. See a beautiful path in front of you. And let yourself begin to walk along that path. Take in your surroundings. And up ahead of you is a body of water. Go towards it. And as you reach this body of water, notice that there's a beautiful red-headed woman in a green dress on the other side of the water. She's holding a snowdrop in her hand. She is the energy of Bridget. Ask her permission to go towards her, for she has wonderful things to reveal. And as you approach her, if she's given you permission, both of you simply sit down on the green. Take a moment to connect with her energy. And in this space, ask any question you might have and let her guide your answer. When it comes to overwhelm and overcommitment of yourself to everyone else, ask her also, What can I do to take care of my own power and well-being? What will help me handle it all? Notice that she's wearing a very beautiful heart-like pendant around her neck, and ask permission to touch that powerful pendant, that powerful heart energy, and receive that energy through your hand, in through your arms, all the way up to your own heart center. Bridget is a warrior energy, not just a peaceful energy. She's a fiery energy. She often proclaims that we take back our power and that we don't back down. She's strong. And in essence, she's all the parts of you that in your overwhelm and your overcommitment to pleasing others, you've just lost a little sight of. So let her powerful energy run back up through your veins, into your soul, energizing you, firing you up in a positive, gentle way, giving you stamina, enriching you to go forward into spring, dedicated to whatever calling or direction is for you. And for some of you, that calling and direction will be to slow down, to stop, to take a break. That too is an action. Thank her for her influence and guidance, knowing that we're all one and that you're simply tapping into the wisdom of the higher self through this beautiful form of Bridget. Begin to head away now. As you say goodbye, you walk back towards the lake. And up onto the golden path. And right the way along it, notice a little spring in your step. Know that if anything didn't come through for you, or even that you didn't get permission, that this can occur in your dream state tonight. So keep a journal handy. So come along this golden path and step down a couple of steps from the golden path into your body, into the room you're currently in, the chair you're currently sitting on. And feel yourself relaxed, energized, recentered. Place the hands back on the belly and keep that tummy rising in through the nose, rising up, 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 and out through the nose or the mouth, down, 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 in through the nose, up, 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 and out through the mouth or the nose, down, down, and down. If there's anything you'd like to write down or make a note of, you can do that now. Just bring yourself back to the room gently, easily. No force, no rush. Okay, so I hope I hope you got some answers, and I don't want you to worry if you didn't. Um, the energy of overwhelm is our friend. She is there to let us know when we're just going way too fast. And we can't help that. We're human. Sometimes we're going to get really fast. When I was home in Ireland for Christmas, I witnessed my father having somewhat of a meltdown, and I'd never really seen this before. Normally he would get so angry, so that was usually what I would see. This time I saw him rushing around and trying to get everything done, and this usual mode of do, and then I can relax. He really innocently has this thinking that if he just gets everything in place, then he can relax. And so we get in the car to go somewhere, and he's forgotten to take his pills, and he takes like 10 or 15 pills a day now for, I don't know, a myriad of health things. And he just kind of was driving along, and he said something like, I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore. You know, he was just like this. I can't take it anymore, Grace. And in that moment, you know, it woke me up to how revved up we can get inside, and therefore forget a lot of things we need to take care of on the outside, like taking the right pills, or, you know, not leaving the cooker on, or remembering to pay a bill or phone somebody. As we get so busy on the inside, the outside begins to speed up, and we innocently begin to forget things. We forget what we need to take care of. Or in the case of my dad, we get so overwhelmed with it all that we kind of just put our face in our hands and can't take it anymore. Now, luckily and easily, in any moment, we can come back to the present moment. And what happened in the case of my dad in the car was he began to notice his surroundings as we started driving along. He began to notice his environment and the beauty of his environment. And I saw how that was his wisdom's way of bringing him back from the overwhelm into the now, where it wasn't any longer, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this anymore. Sometimes we do have to get to a state of, I can't take it anymore, before we will listen to our wisdom. But one of the things that overwhelm is really teaching us is that we're scaring ourselves. And so this beautiful feeling, although we don't like it, of overwhelm or not being able to handle life or whatever we want to call it, I suppose it's all really an element of fear. One of the beautiful things about that feeling is that it's there as our friend, alerting us to the fact that we're living life with a gun to our head, that we're making up arbitrary rules about what we need to get done before we can finally relax or be at peace. What if that's not true? Because what I'm noticing is, regardless of overwhelm or stress or trauma or loss, we are in any moment able to relax and be at peace now. We are able to find our way home. And yet, we want to be patient with ourselves. Because the extra layer of suffering, where we judge ourselves for not getting it done, where we criticize ourselves for being too overwhelmed or having too much to do, or maybe we blame others for what's on our plate. Those are all extra layers of suffering that keep us locked in the experience of tiredness, exhaustion, overwhelm, can't cope with this, can't handle it. And yet, as the mind clears, we're just able to get things done without the gun to our head. There's probably an area in your life where you just get naturally overwhelmed. And in that area, the more you have a gun to your head, the more likely you're going to procrastinate on taking any action. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter why you do that. It matters that you start to find a gentleness towards yourself about that, rather than getting a frustration with it and getting critical about it and getting worried about it. Because as you find a gentleness, as you allow yourself to be off the hook about it, there'll come a point and a time and a moment where you'll just get it done. You'll get it addressed. You'll get done what needs done. And the arbitrary, deadlines and shoulds and shouldn'ts will fall away, and you will simply find yourself not in overwhelm, but in action. So I'm just going to stop there, and let's just open up to any comments or questions or ideas, anything you want help with, any yeah buts. And just feel free to unmute your own line and come on.
Hi, Grace. It's Tatiana.
Hi, Tatiana. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I just Googled your name and saw your email, and then saw that you had this today,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, I'll join.
Good.
Trying to think what's my question, but I just identify so much with your story about your dad and the overwhelm and the needing to be, or you didn't say kind, but being kind to myself, not putting like a gun to my head. And it continued, like I kind of judge my own self. I guess and then I have a lot of shame around it, especially in work. And it's very strange, or my experience currently is very strange in that it feels like this crazy overwhelm, but in reality, it's not like I have a million things to do. It is, like you're saying, it's all internal overwhelm. And especially with work, I just can't seem to, I don't know, get into action, get things done. But then I'm just hearing your voice. It's like, can be kind to myself. And it just feels like, when you said, yeah, but it just feels so deep, almost like from like childhood or something. Like it's scary to put things out there. I'm going to get it wrong. So it's like, how do I break this deep thing that in this moment I find myself so stagnant, especially as it relates to work. And I mean, it's so helpful, like take a breath, come back to the regular moment. And I don't know, the overwhelm seems so overwhelming. And then so much shame around work stuff, like I should know better. I could have figured this out. Like, you know, I should have been doing this stuff a decade ago. I should have been. So it's just, I don't know. I'm not even sure what I'm looking for, but it's like, I'm almost like, how do I shift my perspective so it seems possible? It seems impossible in this moment.
Yeah.
Or in my entire career, it seems like I'm never fulfilled. It doesn't seem possible, but that's why I'm here. I'm like, no, I want to break that.
Mm-hmm.
And then get into action. I don't know. It's hard to, it feels like I'm almost like, am I the only one? It feels like I'm a 7-year-old, even though I'm mentally, I'm like, no, I'm an adult. I'm capable. I can do things. But in this moment, it feels like I'm like a little kid, and I'm like, I don't know what to do, and I can't figure things out. And it's very strange feeling.
Well, Tatiana, you know, here's how it looks to me. We think we can move our thinking on, and that's simply not true. So what I'm hearing in you is this impatience and frustration that you should be able to get on with this, and you should be able to move the stagnant feeling, and you should be able to be kinder to yourself, and it's all on you is what I'm hearing. And I want to invite you today to see that that's you don't have as much charge as you think you do when it comes to actually being able to shift your your thoughts and your feelings. I know we've been taught in the self-help world that we can change our thinking and we can power ourselves up and we can get there. It's enough to get out of bed in the morning when you're in overwhelm, let alone try and affirm your way to a new state of mind. So I think it's your question's helpful to all of us, because we're all there. We're all in that experience at times. It's human nature. But the extra layer of suffering that's getting in the way is this idea that it's on you to move it on. It's adding more frustration, impatience.
Oh,
Just as
completely.
just as you're not beating your heart, Tatiana, you're not in charge of the flow of thinking that runs through your mind. What you are in charge of is what I already heard in you, noticing, oh my goodness, I'm scaring myself again. Okay, now I have a choice. Okay, this is where I have some charge. This is where I have some power. Now that I've seen I'm scaring myself, am I really going to expect myself to be brilliantly productive at work? Or am I going to let myself off the hook until the energy of scaring myself moves on? Now, the beautiful thing is the energy of scaring yourself already begins to move on the moment you see you're doing that. And today or before this call, or maybe on this call, you've realized, oh man, that's what I'm doing. So the serum is in. The medicine is in, where change is available. But I invite you to stop thinking it's on you to make that happen, and to let the friendly energy of overwhelm inform you that it's time to let yourself off the hook even more.
Yeah, wow, thank you.
How you do that is up to you. There's no way, there's no methodology around that, but often it's simply, oh man, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna step back a bit here for a minute. What did you hear in any of that?
Wow. To like what you were saying, just my speaking was that it's like all on me is definitely my experience, that I scare myself. That is definitely my experience. Definitely. And then you said like, let myself off the hook even more, to just notice that I'm scaring myself. And in this moment is it's a fear, like I want to get over this, or I want to fix it, or I want to change it. And it's a fear of like, how is that going to happen? And it's what you're saying. It's going back into this loop. So it just feels like a really rigorous practice or something, like, and I guess in my words, like being kind to myself, and definitely feels like a hamster wheel, like I need to fix this, I need to do something, what you're saying. So I think, I mean, the biggest thing I got is just notice it, and let myself off the hook even more. Yeah. Like go deeper on letting myself off the hook, because it's true, I'm not going to be productive in this state, which clearly I haven't been. lately I just haven't been. So, and there is like a fear like I want that, but I don't have it. It feels like a huge block. So I need to be like open to like, no, yes, I can alter that. I can get past that. Or there goes the eye.
It's so reassuring, and it's so hopeful for all of us to remember it's not on us to fix our thinking. If we leave it alone, it'll move on. The overwhelm, the stress, the fear, the confusion is just a beautiful set of friends letting us know you're scaring yourself. You know, stop it. You're scaring yourself, and you're trying to be superwoman, productive, whilst you've got a gun to your head. Stop it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for a great question. Really helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Anybody else got a question or want to pick up on something from that? Annette, are you coming on?
Yeah, I would like to come on if that's okay. I think it's a lovely conversation, and what Tatiana was bringing up, I could certainly relate to. Not so much the feeling of overwhelm. As a matter of fact, I almost feel like I'm doing very little right now. That life is like really slow right now. And even if life is, or maybe because life is so slow in a way, I have a lot of shoulds. I should be doing much more. I should be doing really creative. I feel like I'm not being creative and coming up with all these good ideas. I don't feel productive once I have to do all these things. And what you said about how putting that gun to our head with all our shoulds and actually just causes more procrastination. And I feel that, you know, some of what I feel like I should be doing, I'm putting off. And it's in a way I had a little, like an insight, I guess, earlier this week or last week, about my parents were always very active, working, not 24/7, but a lot. And I think that's my conditioning. That's how I expect myself to be. That's, you know, I never kind of sit down in a way just to relax and to quiet my mind. It's like a really new thing for me to do. And so in a way I feel like maybe life is just showing me slow right now, that this is the way it's supposed to be, and that I should allow myself to experience that without all the shoulds and all the stuff that I put on myself for blaming myself not to be more productive and not doing more than I actually do. And if I sat down and really took note of what I do, I guess I probably still do quite a bit, but it feels compared to what I'm used to in a way. So I don't know if I really had a question, but I just love the conversation. It brings out some interesting reflections, and also a reassurance in a way that I shouldn't blame myself so much and hitting myself in the head for not figuring things out, what to do, and to kind of let those thoughts just pass and try to see what comes to me naturally.
Yeah. Yeah, it brings to mind another way of saying this, which is, you know, we forget we are being lived, and we think we are doing the living. And yet the same energy that's beating our hearts is the same energy that will move us into activity, action, productivity. The same energy that is, that if we cut ourselves, knows how to heal our wounds. If we break our leg, knows how to heal the leg. Yes, we might have to put it in plaster, and yes, it's a good idea to see a doctor and all of that, but we're not doing the work. We're being lived in each moment. And so as I hear you, Annette, and I'm a sufferer of the same affliction, you know, gosh, I've got all this time and space, and life's wonderful and lovely, and well, you really should be doing something with this, Grace. You know, you should be using this time wisely, you know, all of that. It's like, you have to remember you're being lived. And life knows how to move you. Now, if you notice there's a level of procrastination, you could reflect on, are you scaring yourselves about doing that activity? I know that most procrastination is just a gun to our head. We're making something more scary than it needs to be. At the same time, even if there is a gun to your head about whatever you think you should be doing, Annette, you know, as you connect with the energy of being lived, that gun will also be removed. You'll be in action. Some of the quietest periods of my life professionally were followed by some of the busiest. And if I had known at the time how incredibly fueled up, filled up, and full life was about to become, I would have rested in the nothingness a lot longer.
and I actually also loved your meditation kind of with that fiery energy, because in a way I have like a picture of myself being very mild and kind of very gentle and kind and always very helpful with people, and that I should be like this, you know, always balanced and all that. And with the meditation and with that kind of fiery energy, to see that I can also bring that out more in myself. And not always, because I tend to, I guess in a way, let other people override me in a way, and kind of let that pass. And I guess sometimes it would be more appropriate to raise my voice and to actually bring out more of that energy. So that came to me during that meditation.
Good. Change is afoot. Now you've seen that. Thank you for a lovely question.
Thank you.
So I see, I'm going to say this wrong, maybe Keek has his hand up. How do we say? Oh, you're muted. Can you come back on? You're muted. Okay, there we go.
Hi, Grace. It's actually Barry. It's a work iPad which has got the initials of the company on it.
Okay.
Yeah, great conversation, and something that something that came to mind for me recently. I've been very fortunate, a bit like yourself, in that I'm in a position where I've taken some time out from what I normally do, like a bit of a sabbatical, and so I have got a lot of free time. And I realised the other day that I still felt overwhelmed, and so it came to me that overwhelm is just a state of mind. That I created, and but for so long I was in overwhelm, and everything I did was in overwhelm, but it was just a state of mind. But even when I'm not in overwhelm, when I've got all this time, I still feel like that every now and again, and I just had to remind myself that there is no reason to feel that overwhelm in this particular, in my case. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, beautifully put, Barry. Yeah, beautifully put. And it's wonderful that our life experience, can show us the truth of what's going on. Similarly, one of the places most humans tend to get into overwhelm or worry is around money. And I realized in my own overwhelm, it was like, it didn't matter how much money I had in the bank account, the state of overwhelm was still going on, which also taught, the state of mind. It taught me, life showed me, it's not about what's in your bank account or how much time you have. It's really about how fast this is going at any given moment. So that's beautiful. Thanks for sharing with us. I probably have time for one more question or comment if anybody wants to come on. Of course, we'll be back next week with our coaching clinic, but if there's something, if you have something short, I can receive it now. If not, we will stop here. I think the conversation's been very powerful and transformative today, and I really am hopeful for everyone that as they let themselves off the hook, they not only begin to experience life in a more joyful, graceful way, but you also influence the people around you. You also impact those that are closest to you. So you might be showing up here for yourself first, but don't underestimate what that's also doing as helping others, whether you're in the coaching world yourself, or you're living with a partner, or you're taking care of family members. Sometimes what can happen is, as we get into overwhelm, we forget about ourselves. We get into overcommitment of everybody else and we forget about ourselves. And so in this coming together to see something fresh about our experience, it's a selfish act with a capital S, because it's impacting everybody around you as well. So if I don't have any more comments or questions, then I think we'll close here. I do want to let you know just that I am in the process of creating a beautiful course right now. You're going to hear about it if you're on my mailing list. It's coming out really soon, and it's called A Return to Well-Being. So I'm really going to start to share with you in this online space more fully an opportunity to come together as a group and come together regularly as we really tap into our well-being. There'll be a lot of healing from trauma, stress, and sudden loss. But more importantly, there'll be a look at your divine nature, this power within you, whereby you're falling out of life being all on you and actually navigating from this space of your own internal power, which in itself will be life-changing. So if you want some information on that, just private message me or gracefulcoaching@gmail.com. And as soon as I have the outline together, you'll be first to get it. It'll be my pleasure. All right, everybody. So see you next week. Thanks for being here. Lots of love and
Thank you.
enjoy your week. Happy St. Bridget's Day. Bye.
Bye.